You guys ready? Coach Young, just give us your thoughts, and then we'll open up questions for Coach and the players.
Yeah. Hats off to Arizona. It's a heck of a basketball game. They're really good. Tommy's a really good coach. As I've learned this landscape, he knows what he's doing. He's very sharp, and they're a good team. And Caleb's he's a gamer, and he made plays when they needed him to. Luckily, we were able to, make enough of our own. Richie was incredible, make those 2 huge free throws. But in a game like that, it was just felt like whoever was going to kind of get the last stop was going to win. And we did some things better in the second half, particularly less turnovers. As physical as they are, for us to go +4 on second chance points when we're undersized against their size, I thought that just really spoke to our toughness in that game, and that's ultimately what won it, was just sheer toughness. So with that, I'll open it up.
Kevin, how are you guys able to just take care of the ball so well in the second half after, I think, 7 turnovers in the first half? And what adjustments were made to get more opportunities?
Yeah, I thought we showed them some stuff on the film at halftime that was certain things that we saw in their defense that we were certain matchups we were trying to attack a little bit more with a little bit more intentionality. I thought that was the difference.
Was that the last play? The last play, was that the play you designed and you wanted? And what did you see before you planned it?
Yeah, I mean, it's we were in a similar situation, less time on the clock at Utah, and I kicked myself for not having the right thing dialed up. And so it's something I've spent a lot of mental time on in that particular situation. And the play broke down, but ultimately we wanted to go to Richie, and he was able to make a play. And that's what you got to do in a game like that. Plays are great, but players got to make plays, and that's exactly what happened.
Richie, could you kind of just, what was your thoughts on that play, and were you trying, drawing that foul? How did that work out, or were you planning to go that direction, or with it?
Yeah, I mean, basketball's all a game of reads. They initially cut off what I was hoping for, a 3 at the top, but yeah, I mean, there's only so much time on the clock, and just trying to figure out how in the world to make something happen. Luckily, he bit a little bit on a shot fake, and was fortunate enough to get to the line.
When the foul was called and you just missed a free throw previously, what was going through your mind to be able to make those 2 and finish the game with a win?
Yeah, I've practiced that. Since I was a little kid and in the church gym, that's what I practiced. And you practice and you hope for moments like that, right? Or you can just step up and shoot those free throws. It's so loud and everything's on the line. That's why you play basketball.
Kevin, can you kind of explain what this win means to your program, and especially you in your first year?
And just so much respect for good programs and good coaches, as I've learned, how hard it is to win in college basketball, particularly on the road, especially a place here. I was watching a game before our game back in the locker room, and they had a stat, and it was Arizona's home record over 50-some-odd games, and didn't give me a lot of good feelings when I saw what the record was. So to be able to win in this environment was huge. But my message to our group is, whatever the next challenge in front of us, we're trying to attack it, whether that's practice, whether that's shoot around, whether it's a game. I know that sounds cliche, but that's really been the recipe for us, is to not look any farther than what we have to do at that moment. And today, these guys were the challenge at hand, and we came in and took care of business.
What happened in the handshake line? It looked like number 5 was pretty out of control.
5 for whose team? Not sure. Honestly, I'd have to see it on the film. There's a lot going on in that. I think it's, at the end of the day, I think it's just 2 really competitive groups in a hostile environment, and sometimes that happens. But we're not trying to start anything, so I'll have to just see what happened on the film and address it with our team.
Cameron, a lot of people are going to talk about Richie's free throws, but your contribution was pretty good after, I don't think you scored last game, right? And come out here, and how are you able to do that?
I mean, just having next game, next play mentality, really. You can't dwell on what happens in the past. All you can do is change what's going to happen in the future. So.
You've had a couple games where it seems like you can't really miss. You just are super efficient. Do you know going into games like that you're going to have a night like that, or does it just kind of happen?
I'd say after about like second shot, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I'll chime in on that real quickly. I mean, he with his size and his high release, I mean, I tell him all the time, you know, you're either going to make it or miss it. The defense has nothing to do with it. And so when he's aggressive looking for his shot, you know, he really changes the game for us. I'm honestly really proud of Cannon. You know, his road's been up and down, and I quite frankly have given him a short leash of late, and he's been able to accept it and show up and continue to work. And you know, I've said this from day one with Cannon, like, you know, when he's playing at that type of level, our ceiling is a lot different.
Richie and Cannon, do you guys feel like a different team? I mean, just a few weeks ago, a different game with Arizona. What was the key, you know, or is it just more confidence, toughness with your bunch, or what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, we learn, right? Every game you get an opportunity to learn, and we took a lot out of the last game, and moving forward into the games after, and including this one. And you know, I hope you learn, especially in just by losing, right? As hard as that is, but it's just all learning.
Any other questions? Yep, go ahead.
Coach, any initial expectations for ASU?
You know, it feels like ages ago since we played them. They were our Big 12 opener. So, you know, in this league, man, every game feels like it's a dogfight. You know, I know they've been on the short end of some of those, you know, where they're, you know, have had a couple of losses and so forth. But, you know, they're a team that's going to be hungry. You know, they've got talent, you know. Coach really does a good job, and you know, we'll have to decompress from this for sure. But you know, I think for me, it's not okay. Hey, you beat them by a big margin in the first game. We learned that from Cincinnati. We took care of Cincinnati really well, and they smacked us when we went to their place. So we'll have to just approach it with the mentality of it's a new game, and see how put the game plan together and give it our best shot.
Coach, since the West Virginia game, your level of physicality has gone up a notch, it seems like. What would you attribute that to?
Our team just learning, you know. I think even though these guys were in the Big 12 last year, you know, it was 1 year. It was my first year in it. And I think for me, I won't speak for the players on this, for me, early on in Big 12 play, I mean, it's just officiated so differently, and I'm not crying or knocking the official. It's just what it is. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just totally different than what I was coming in from. You know, I've said this before. A lot of, I think, players would foul out in the first quarter if the NBA was ref like this. And I had to adjust. Our messaging had to adjust. Our players, some of our tactical stuff offensively, we had to adjust to play with more physicality on offense. And so I think it's just been a lot of learning, honestly, and then the guys stepping up to the plate. And, I mean, this guy's battling a 7'2" guy down there, however tall Baysar is. You know what I mean? And so we just have to learn, and our guys have been able to put it in play.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.